Good day, everyone. I'm still your science teacher, Sir Roy M. Kapul. And for today, our discussion will be focusing on the human nervous system. My presentation is divided into four parts, which includes the following: the discovery of the brain as the main or the primary human nervous system organ, the fundamental unit, the division, and of course, the parts of the human nervous system. Let us start. Let us first talk about the discovery of the brain. In 335 BC, Greek philosopher Aristotle thought that the brain was simply a radiator that kept the all important heart from overheating. Around 170 BC, Roman physician Galen suggested that the brain, four ventricles, fluid-filled cavities were the seat of complex thought and determined personality and bodily functions. In the 16th century, Belgian anatomist Andreas Vesalius created a highly detailed map of the nervous system and argued against the ventricles as the site of brain functions. Neuroanatomists Santiago Ramon y Cajal and Camilo Golgi identified the nerve cells as the building blocks of the brain and showing there are many different types in 1900s. Now that we are done with the discovery, let us proceed with the discussion of the fundamental unit. Neurons are considered to be the fundamental unit of the nervous system. As you can see in the illustration, it describes the three main parts of the neurons. These are the following. The main part of the nerve cell is the cell body. Next is the dendrite. The dendrite carries signals to the body from other neurons or from the environment. The third part is what we call as the axon. The axon carries the signal away from the cell body. Again, the three main parts of the neurons are the cell body, the dendrites, and the axon. Now we are done with the discovery and the fundamental unit of the nervous system. Let us now move on to the divisions of the human nervous system. The nervous system can be divided into two. We have the central nervous system, and of course, we have the peripheral nervous system. They differ in terms of functions and the parts that they cover. The peripheral nervous system can be further divided into autonomic nervous system and the somatic nervous system. Under the autonomic nervous system, we have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Now, do you know the difference between this type of or the divisions of the nervous system? Let us find out. The central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system, on the other hand, is made up of the nerves that branch off from the spinal cord and extend to all the parts of the body. The peripheral nervous system can be divided into autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system controls the involuntary bodily functions and regulates the gland. On the other hand, the somatic nervous system controls muscle movement and relays information from ears, eyes, and skin to the central nervous system. We can still divide the autonomic nervous system into two. We have the sympathetic nervous system, which is often considered as the fight or the flight system, which works during stressful situation. On the other hand, the parasympathetic nervous system is often considered to be the rest and digest or the feed and breathe system. Now that we are done with the division, let us proceed with the parts of the human nervous system. As you can see in the illustration, the parts can be grouped into the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Under the central nervous system, we have the brain, which is the complex organ that controls thought, memory, emotion, touch, motor skills, vision, breathing, temperature, hunger, and every process that regulates our body. Next one is the spinal cord. The spinal cord connects your brain to your lower back and carries nerve cell signals from your brain to your body and vice versa. Let us proceed with the parts of the peripheral nervous system. The nerve connects the nervous system with the other parts of the body. So it conducts impulses toward or away from the central nervous mechanism. Next to that is what we call as the ganglion. It refers to the cluster of nerve cells or nerve cell bodies found throughout the body. Let us now talk about the different parts of the brain. As you can see in the illustration, it is divided into three. We have the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the brainstem. What is a cerebrum? A cerebrum is the largest part of your brain. It is divided into the right and the left hemisphere. So it performs different functions like interpreting the touch, vision, and hearing, as well as speech, reasoning, emotions, learning, and fine control of movement. The second one is the cerebellum. It is located under the cerebrum. Its function is to coordinate muscle movements, maintain posture, and balance. The third one is what we call as the brainstem. It acts as the relay center, connecting the cerebrum and the cerebellum to the spinal cord. It performs many automatic functions such as the breathing, heart rate, the body temperature, wake and sleep cycles, digestion, sneezing, coughing, vomiting, and swallowing. Now let's move on to the different lobes of the brain. As you can see in the illustration, we have the four lobes, the frontal lobe, the parietal lobe, the occipital lobe, and the temporal lobe. The frontal lobe is important for cognitive functions and control of voluntary movement or activity. Second is the parietal lobe, processes information about temperature, taste, touch, and movement. Third is what we call as the occipital lobe, which is primarily responsible for vision. The fourth one is the temporal lobe, which processes memories, integrating them with sensation of touch, sound, sight, and touch. Now we are done with the different sections or portion of my presentation. Let me share with you this trivia. Scientifically speaking, men have a larger brain than women. The average numbers of neocortical neurons were 19 billion in female brains and 23 billion in male brains. To check your understanding of our topic for today, let us have the following activities. First is activity 1, check your understanding. You have to read and answer the following questions. Question number 1. Based on history, who was the Roman physician who suggested that the brain is divided into four ventricles? Very good. The answer is Galen. Next one. What are the main parts of the brain? Describe their function. Very well said. The three main parts of the brain are the cerebrum, cerebellum, and the brainstem. The cerebrum is responsible for the sensing, thinking, learning, emotions, and voluntary movement of the body. On the other hand, the cerebellum controls the balance and fine muscle movement. And the last one is the brainstem, which connects your cerebrum and cerebellum to your spinal cord. The third question is, men have bigger brain than women. Compare the average number of neurons found in male and female. Compute for the percentage of difference. Okay, time's up. What's your answer? Very good. So we have 16% difference. Let us move on to our next activity. Compare and contrast the two divisions of nervous system using Venn diagram. There are different choices provided on the right side of the diagram, so you have to choose from the choices given. You have 5 minutes to accomplish this activity. When the time is up, kindly check your answer using this answer key. Congratulations, I hope we got the same answer. Let's have activity 3, picture analysis. Classify accordingly the movements as function of somatic or autonomic peripheral nervous system. Let us first identify the first picture, a boy walking across the house. Is it somatic or autonomic? Very good, that is somatic. Next one, how about the beating of the heart? This is autonomic. How about breathing in and breathing out of air? This is also autonomic. How about toothbrushing? This is somatic. Well said. And the last one, how about hand washing? Yes, that is somatic. Now for your assignment, this is a group activity. Please choose one process that occurs in the human body system which exhibits homeostasis. When we talk about homeostasis, we are referring to the state of balance in our body. You have to prepare your report in the form of infographics. And please be guided of the following criteria for your presentation. For the content, 5 points. Collaboration, 5 points. Organization, 5 points. And for the presentation, another 5 points with a total of 20 points. I hope everything is clear in our discussion for today. Thank you for watching and see you next meeting.